Yeah, this that entrepreneurial conversation where ideas flip the hustle into elevation. No filters, no cap, just lessons in motion. Pull up, lock in, this entrepreneurial conversation. Yeah.
Today episode, we're going to focus on how criticism, doubt, disrespect, rejection, even envy become fuel for your growth, positioning, branding, discipline, and even execution as a new entrepreneur. Because you got to understand, the tone should feel real, strategic, and motivational, not emotional or bitter. But other than that, guys, man, grand rising to all my investors self out there, man. Thank y'all for coming through, tuning in to another entrepreneur conversation that we're going to have today. And today conversation of topic we're going to be talking about is turning hate into an asset. Because you got to understand, man, every entrepreneur say they want success until success starts attracting what? Opinions, doubt, fake support, and quiet hate. So before we tap into that conversation for today, man, you know what time it is. Make sure you hit on that subscribe button, subscribe to the Invest Media channel, and also click on the notification bell, hit all, so you can be notified when anything drop new on our Invest Media channel. And also, man, invest in hitting that like button because it's free, guys, to hitting that to invest in hitting on that like button. And also, you know, last week, you know, we didn't have a show because I used last week to be able to knock out some pre-recorded shows for the late night radio show. Hopefully gonna be dropping next month. That's gonna be no pressure, just vibes. So that's for my late nightpreneurs out there and what have you. And also probably sometime next month I'm going to be changing up the format of when I drop these shows. So I'm still figuring that out because I'm trying to get the flow of everything, trying to get to really immerse myself in throughout the week, giving y'all community things y'all can look at and what have you, gain information, not just, you know, these shows. Also give y'all little short videos, what they call them, shorts and what have you. So I'm trying to do new things, trying to be consistent, trying to, you know, definitely get in the algorithm. So people that might really need this, especially new entrepreneurs out there, or you thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, or you are aspiring entrepreneur, you definitely can be able to tap into the Invest Media channel. So I'm working on that. So when I figure it out, I definitely will let you know when I'm going to be dropping. So I'm going to be moving the radio show that we have on Friday, Sidebar Convo radio show. So I'm probably moving that, and I'm definitely gonna be moving this show right here. So I'm gonna try a new format to see how that goes, so everything can flow. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna let you know when I come up with the format and when I change everything, so you can be abreast of what's going on. That's why it's important to hit that notification bell, guys. Go ahead and hit on that notification bell. So let's go ahead and jump into that topic at hand for today, the conversation that we're going to be having. Like I said, man, today's topic we're going to be talking about is turning hate into an asset, because it's very important, guys. I know sometimes people take hate as if it's a bad thing. You ever heard of that saying when people say, if you don't have anybody hating on you, that means you're doing something wrong, right? So don't take hate as something that's bad or damaging. You can use the hate and turn that and use that as fuel and turn that into an asset to hopefully you can gain your success, help you gain your success as an entrepreneur, right? So the first thing at hand we're going to be talking about is hate usually arrives before success looks real. And what I mean by that is, you know, you have people rarely criticize average behavior, because if you are on the same level as somebody or underneath them or what have you, and you just have just average at the moment because you haven't hit your better self, you haven't changed your mindset to become that entrepreneur you're looking to become and what have you, right? People really are not going to hate on you. They really not going to critique you. They really don't have any constructive criticism. They don't have anything for you because you are to them on the same level as what they are, right? And the next thing is the moment you move with vision, people become what uncomfortable because now you have a vision of you or who you want to become, a vision of building something successful. You have a vision of changing your trajectory of becoming financially free, financially secure, and what have you, generational wealth, whatever you are doing to better your situation and change lives and what have you. People become uncomfortable with your growth and who you becoming, right? And entrepreneurship exposes insecurity in others because when people see that you are willing to bet on yourself, right? Because they might want to bet on themselves. They wanted to do the same thing like you, but they didn't have the courage, right? They let fear stop them, but you didn't allow it to stop you, right? So sometimes people become insecure because of who you becoming, right? And they become threatened by that, right? And another thing is your ambitions become a mirror to people who stay comfortable. Like I just said, sometimes people want to do what you are doing now, but because they decided to stay within a comfort zone or what have you, that killed their ambition, right? But because they see that you are doing something they want to do, it's like a mirror. They look at themselves in a mirror, and you are the better half. You are doing. You're not allowing fear to stop you or kill your ambition of what you want to become, right? As an entrepreneur, right? And sometimes the hate is simply people not understanding your direction yet, right? So as an entrepreneur, you have to decipher the difference between hate and constructive criticism, right? Because sometimes you may feel like somebody's hating on you, but in our reality, they may provide constructive criticism, right? So sometimes if you don't understand the difference between the two, you can take it as the wrong way. And this might be some viable piece of information that they are giving you, right? That you can turn into an asset, right? So you got to understand, if a person don't see the direction or the direction that you have for your vision and what have you, right? It may come off as hate, right? Because they simply don't understand, right? So people will question your vision while you're building, then study your blueprint what once it worked. And sometimes you have people like that. You have people out here want to see somebody else do it first to see if it worked, right? They want they just want a person to put the hard work in, put all the leg work in. And once they see that it works, now they try to come and do the same thing that you do. You have people like that, right? They don't want to do the building. They rather for somebody else to do the building, right? And go through the trials and tribulation, do all the hard work. And they'll come in once everything is built, everything is up and running, then they want to take the blueprint that you created and do it for themselves and what have you, right? So you gotta understand, man, hate usually arrives before success looks real. You're going to have people that hate, right? And the hate that people are giving you, if you got to understand, if you're an entrepreneur and you know how to use that as fuel and turn that into an asset that works for you, you're gonna go a long way because you're gonna know how to turn that into something that's going to benefit you, right? The next thing is learn the difference between hate and useful criticism. Let me say it again. Learn the difference between hate and useful criticism, right? So not all criticism is hate. Like I said, you got to learn the difference between the two, right? Because you can mistakenly make the mistake thinking someone's hating on you, but they are critiquing you in a way where it can help you, giving you constructive criticism that you can use to better your product, better your services, better yourself as an entrepreneur, right? So you have to understand it too, because you don't want to miss out on a point where this could help you, this piece of information that they are providing you, but you are taking it in the wrong way, because sometimes we already have a prenotation of somebody might be hating on us, or you might be feeling some type of way, and it don't matter what they say. you're going to take it the wrong way, because somebody else can come and say the same thing, exact same thing as that person, because you already have this thing built up that feel like you already what you call it, you already feeling in a way, right? Thinking that this person is already hating on you. This person don't want to see you conclusion. Don't assuming. That's what it is. My sorry guys. Assuming, you already assuming that this person don't have any love for you, maybe hating on you already, and it don't matter what they say or do, you're going to take it the wrong way. And in all reality, they really trying to help you, right? So you got to understand the difference between the two, right? So emotional entrepreneurs ignore what? Valuable feedback. Just like what I said, if you are that emotional entrepreneur and you already in your feelings about a certain situation, about a certain person, right? You're going to ignore the valuable feedback that somebody's giving you. This can be something that can really help your product. This could be something that really take your services to the next level, right? Or your business to the next level, right? So understand this, man. Smart entrepreneurs separate what? Envy, projection, and constructive correction, right? And some criticism can sharpen what? Your business, right? So you got to understand, smart entrepreneurs separate the envy, projection, the constructive correction, and some criticism can sharpen your business, right? So you got to understand constructive criticism in a way where you somebody is really trying to help you, benefit you, to the point where if they see something that you don't see, right? Or they may have been already studying the market that you are already trying to tap into, right? They already been studying the market, but they just didn't take that leap yet. Now they might have a piece of information that they already consumed and passing it on to you, but you feel like they are hating on you, right? But in all reality, this can help sharpen your business. So once you understand the two, that's going to help you a long way, guys, because all hate isn't all every just put like this, what somebody say to you about your business, about your ideas, about your vision, what have you, right? Wherever it is, it's not always hate, guys. So once you understand how to separate the two, that will help you as an entrepreneur, because do have people out here that want to see you win. They want to see you get to the next level and what have you, right? So understand this, man. Hate attacks the person, right? Criticism improves the product. Let me say that again. Hate attacks the person, because you can understand this, guys. You'll know if somebody's hating on you, because if it's something that's personal, and it's a dig towards you, it's just something personal about you, and it's not something that's about your product, that's about your services, if it's not anything along that line of your business or what have you, and it's just a personal digs on you, who you are, or your character, that's most of the time that is hate. That's not constructive criticism, right? They're not giving you criticism that's going to improve your product, prove your services, right? So you'll definitely understand, man, when if it's a personal hate attack towards you, and it's not something that's critiquing your business, right? So the thing is, how do you emotionally detach enough to learn without letting negativity break your confidence? Let me say it again. How do you emotionally detach enough to learn without letting negativity break your confidence? So that's something that is up to the individual as an entrepreneur, right? How do you emotionally detach enough? So you gotta understand that. You gotta see how can you do that. You have to. That's something for you to figure out, right? How can I emotionally detach enough to be able to learn? That means you have to detach from your ego, detach from your feelings. That means you have to detach from your pride and what have you, to be able to receive the information, to be able to learn and what have you. So that's what's very important, guys, man. All hate isn't bad. Um, and all let me put it like this: all hate isn't bad, because what you feel like is hate is just constructive correction, constructive criticism, or it's just simply critiquing you in a way that can help you, right? The next thing is visibility creates opinions, right? So the more visible you become, the more opinions you attract, the more assumptions people create, right? So you got to understand, let me say it again, the more you become visible, right, you become the more opinions you attract and the more assumptions people create. And that's the thing about it: when you haven't launched your business yet, you haven't told people your ideas yet, no one really know that you exist as an entrepreneur. You don't have to worry about the opinions. You don't have to worry about the assumptions. You don't have to worry about anything, because people don't have nothing to go on. People don't have anything. You don't have anything out there for people to be able to critique, hate on, or anything. But the moment you launch your business idea or your business and what have you, or what, start telling people what you're going to do, now it's something out there for them to judge. It's something out there for them to hate on. It's something out there for them to critique and what have you, or it's something out there to give you that constructive criticism and what have you, right? But you got to understand this: when you become visible to people beforehand, when you learn how to separate the two, it's not going to be an issue. It's not going to be a problem, because you're going to know how to move accordingly to anything that you feel like is hate versus something that may be constructive correction or criticism, what have you, right? So new entrepreneurs often quit because of what? They fear judgment, right? You can't fear judgment. People always going to judge you. It don't matter what you do. It's going to be people out there that's going to judge you, right? That's it. Being an entrepreneur comes with the territory. You're going to have people that judge you as an entrepreneur. People judge your services, judge you based on your services, put it like that. Judge you based on your product, right? Judge you in general of your character as an entrepreneur and what have you. People are always going to judge you, but you cannot allow that to stop you, right? Because whether you're doing good or bad, judgment is always going to be there, right? So if nobody talks about your movement, if nobody talks about your movement may not be visible enough yet. Let me say it again: if nobody talks about your movement may not be visible enough yet. So, and that's one of the misconceptions. You think, because you put your brand out there, you put your information out there, you let people know, hey, I'm a new entrepreneur. You start telling people, you start promoting your services out. This doesn't mean your visibility is going to be, you're going to create your visibility right then and there. It may take time, right? You may not have that movement yet, or you might not be within the algorithm yet that's going to get the eyes or the visibility that you're looking for. So you may not get that judgment right away. You might not get that constructive criticism. You might not get that hate right away until you start having a lot more movement that become visible to the eye and what have you, right? So silence feels what? Safe. When you move in silence, everything feels safe, because no one, like I said, no one knows that you are working in the background. No one really knows that you exist as an entrepreneur. But visibility builds businesses, right? Silence feels safe, right? And a lot of times that silence is like a comfort zone where you scared of the judgment. You let the fear of the judgment stop you from become invisible, right? As you build your business, right? So you're in your comfort zone, because the silence feels safe. You're not worrying about anybody judging you, critiquing you, or anything, right? But you gotta understand, visibility builds your business, right? Because when you become visible, people take interest in what you have to offer, if it's something that they can benefit from, if it's something that they can help you, right? So that's always going to help you build your business, because more visible you come to the eye, more potential clients you can get, more potential people are booking your services, more potential of customers, right? So it works hand to hand, right? So it's not good to stay silent, because if you're going to stay silent, then you're never going to become visible, and no one's never going to know that you exist as an entrepreneur, right? So that's very important to understand that. And the next thing is, use doubt as competitive energy. Let me say that again. Use doubt as competitive energy, right? So some entrepreneurs collapse under pressure, right? And like they said, pressure busts pipes. But if you are mentally strong, mentally tough as an entrepreneur, you're not going to collapse under pressure. Matter of fact, some people work best under pressure, because now it helps them be more focused, more disciplined, right? Some people work better under pressure, right? So, others, next thing is, others convert pressure into discipline. Like I just said, pressure, you can use that to become discipline, right? You can convert the pressure into discipline. And that's one of the key things. You have the people that you see that buckle under pressure are the ones who are not disciplined, or don't know how to turn that pressure, doesn't know how to convert that pressure into discipline, right? So meanwhile, others convert pressure into discipline. Just like I said, that's one thing you have to learn how to do. The ones that fold under pressure are the ones that didn't know how to turn that or convert that into discipline, right? Like they said, pressure busts pipes. But if you are a person who understands pressure and can work underneath pressure, you are at your best under pressure. It's not going to be hard for you to convert that to becoming disciplined, because now you're more focused and you know what needs to be done, right? And the next thing is the hate, right? Hate can what? This is how you can use hate and use hate as fuel, right? And turn that into an asset, right? So hate can what? Make you sharper, make you consistent, make you obsessed with improvement, right? And those things are very important, right? Because when people are hating on you, you become sharper, right? You want to become better. You want to improve on your skill set, your skill level, right? You want to become more consistent, because now you want to become more visible. You want to show people, not prove people wrong, right? Don't get it wrong. You're not trying to prove anybody wrong, right? Because by you being consistent and becoming more visible, that's already proving people wrong. So you don't have to do it, right? It's doing it for yourself, right? So this is how you can use hate as fuel to make you sharper. You want to become sharper at becoming being an entrepreneur, right? Sharper at thinking, sharper at coming up with concepts, sharper at ideas and what have you, right? You want to be consistent at showing up every day, and you want to be obsessed with improvement. You want to constantly improve, get better and stronger, because the better you become, the better your business become. The more knowledgeable you become, more your business going to your business going to have longevity, right? The more consistent you are, you might as well say, the more you grow as an entrepreneur, your business is going to grow as an entrepreneur. So that's what's very important, guys. That's very important. So understand, man, the key is to control energy, not emotional revenge. Let me say it again. The key is control energy and not emotional revenge. Because if you allow people to control your energy and you're not controlling your own energy, you're not going to be emotionally stable as an entrepreneur. You're going to drain yourself, because the things that you really need to use your emotions on or what have you, you're going to be drained, because you are trying to seek revenge on everybody that hates on you, or you trying to react to everything time you feel like somebody is hating on your business, saying something bad, talking down on you, or doing anything you feel like is opposite of you becoming successful as an entrepreneur. So you got to learn how to control your energy, right? Because things that doesn't matter, you shouldn't be giving your energy towards whatsoever, right? So the goal isn't proving people wrong emotionally, it's building something undeniable. Let me say it again. The goal isn't proving people wrong emotionally, it's building something undeniable. And that's what the thing is building, not trying to prove anybody wrong, because you're not going to get nowhere trying to prove people wrong. Let the results prove people wrong, and why you consistently build as an entrepreneur, right? So the next thing is stop looking for validation, guys. I know you heard me talk about this in previous episodes, because this is something that's very important, because a lot of times we get caught up in seeking validation, and you have some people still are seeking validation from their peers, from their parents, from their friends, and what have you, right? And only validation that you need is validation from yourself. You validating yourself, right? So the thing is, new entrepreneurs often want support from friends and family first, right? And you got to understand, you cannot scale support. Whether the support is there or not, you got to continue to be present every day. You got to be consistent, right? Support is not going to give you longevity as an entrepreneur, right? So you got to stop seeking that, seeking validation from your friends and your family, right? Because at the end of the day, your friends, your family might not support you at all. So if you don't have the support, what's gonna happen after that? You're not gonna you're going to end up quitting. You're not going to have long lasting or have longevity as an entrepreneur and what have you, right? So the reality is, strangers may support you before people close to you do, right? So you got to understand that, and that's very true. You have people out here that may support you more than your peers, because the people that know you, right, they know who you are and what have you. Sometimes people can become jealous of you, envy of you, right? Because they wanted to do what you do are doing, but they was afraid to do it, right? And some people just don't want to see you win at all, right? So our reality is, strangers, people that you turn into customers online, are going to be the ones that's going to give you the support. But at the end of the day, it's all about executing. It's all about staying disciplined to the process, right? It's all about becoming successful at serving people, and giving them something that they can benefit from, solving a problem that's been missing, right? That's what's very important, guys. So validation dependency kills execution, right? So if you are steady seeking validation from family and friends, and you're not executing at all, you're not gonna be able to build anything as an entrepreneur, right? Because like they said, validation dependency kills execution. If you only can move forward, or you can only become motivated is through validation of others, guess what? If you don't get any validation, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to be motivated. You're not going to be wanting to put in the work as an entrepreneur. So only validation you need is validation from yourself. So real entrepreneurs continue even when applause disappears. So if people are not applauding you, people are not telling you doing a good job and what have you, right? Or they've been telling you that, and now that you are growing as an entrepreneur, they stop applauding you, they stop showing up, they stop giving you your praise, right? Are you going to continue to move forward, or are you going to die right along with the appraisal that you used to get, but you're not getting no more? So that's the thing about it. When people are not there, you still got to put in the work, right? Right. The next thing is, hate reveals your positioning, right? Let me say it again. Hate reveals your positioning, meaning if everyone likes your brand, your message may be too safe, right? Strong brands create what? Emotional reactions. So if you are a brand and everybody likes your brand and your brand, just basically say your brand message and what have you. It may be to say, meaning that you're not in it to please everybody. You're not in it to appease everybody. As an entrepreneur, you are in here to serve people, to serve people something that they can benefit from, solving a problem that people needed a solution to and what have you, right? So if you get into the entrepreneurship and you are trying to please everyone, right, then that's not a good way to go about it, because at the end of the day, you have to choose a lane to be in. You can't, as an entrepreneur, you can't be in every lane. You got to choose a lane to be in, right? And that calls from sometimes, you may have people not liking your brand because you're not trying to serve them. You're not trying to cater to them and what have you. So you got to understand, as a brand owner, you're not here to make people happy. You here to solve problems. You here to add solution to problems, right? You are here to create something that people can benefit off of. You here to help serve people that need help, and you are the solution to their problem and what have you. So that's very important to understand that, guys. Thing is, don't become distracted by watching others watch you. Let me say it again. Don't become distracted by watching others watch you, right? And this is how, as an entrepreneur, this is how you're going to lose momentum, right? By checking your comments, likes, opinions, right? And you see a lot of times, right? Let me use this analogy, like sports figures. Yes, you have sports professionals, right? They look at their social media page, they look at their comment section, seeing what people say, right? And steady them staying focused on their craft and improving their skill set, working on what they need to work on. They are focusing what people are saying. So they started to respond in an emotional way, right? They steady being focused and staying disciplined to the process. They are try to defend themselves. They get back and forth with people in the comment section, right? So worrying about other people's opinion, right? This is not what you need to do as an entrepreneur. This is how you're going to lose momentum, right? This is the way you're going to dilute your mission of becoming a successful entrepreneur, right? So your focus should stay on what? Your systems, your customers, execution, and scaling, right? Let me say that again. The things that you should remain focused on is systems, customers, execution, and scaling. These are the things that you have to stay focused on, because your comments, likes, opinions, all at the end of the day, all that stuff don't matter, because who cares how many likes you have? Who cares about people's opinions, right? Who care about people saying anything within the comment section? Because that's not going to help you grow your business. That's not going to help you scale your business. That's not going to help you execute, right? At the end of the day, noise is expensive mentally, right? Meaning, if you are constantly try to challenge the noise, you trying to counteract the noise that's going on within the comment section, right? Within people opinions, right? That's very expensive mentally, right? Because guess what? That's going to happen. That's going to have mentally drain you, going to make you have a mental breakdown and what have you. So these are the things that you need to not even pay attention to. Pay attention to bettering your systems, making sure your customers are happy, you are regaining your customers, retaining your customers, right? You also are gaining new customers, right? And execution, which is the most important thing. You want to make sure you're executing as an entrepreneur and you are scaling your business, right? Scaling your services, doing what it takes for you to grow, right? That's what's important, right? So at the end of the day, are you building or monitoring reactions, right? Let me say it again. Are you building or monitoring reactions, right? So it's a big difference. Are you building? Get out there and build. Continue to build. Be consistent. Don't sit and monitor your social media page, because that's not going to help you create momentum for yourself. That's not going to help you build. That's not going to help you do anything but sabotage your movement and your momentum and what have you, guys. So the next thing we have is the quietest revenge is what? Progress. Let me say it again. The quietest revenge is progress, right? So success can change. Success changes conversation, right? So as you become successful, the conversations change, right? Because now you're talking about more things. Now you are becoming immersed in conversation that's dealing with growth, dealing with business, dealing with things that can help you grow as an entrepreneur, right? Um, consistency outlasts opinions. Let me say that again. Consistency outlasts opinions. Like they said, everybody got opinions. Like everybody got a-hole, right? So everybody have opinions, right? But at the end of the day, consistency is what's going to get you there versus people opinions and what have you, right? So time exposes who was serious and who was talking. So the time that you have, are you using it in a seriously way that's helping you build and grow as an entrepreneur, or are you just a person that's talking about things that you would like to see or become as an entrepreneur, right? So it's a big difference. Are you being effective with the time that you have, or are you just using the time that you have to BS and you just talking, right? So some people talk about what your business for a moment. Some people talk about your business for a moment. You have to live with your vision every day. Let me say it again. Some people talk about your business for a moment. You have to live with your vision every day. So it's very important, man. Your vision of where you see your business, your vision of where you want to take your business, your vision that you see yourself as an entrepreneur, the vision that you want to see yourself, the level of where you want to see yourself as an entrepreneur. So it's all up to the vision, because the vision that you create for yourself, for your business, you're going to live that every day, because you are constantly growing as an entrepreneur and you constantly building as an entrepreneur, and you building a business, and hopefully one day become what? Successful. So guys, man, thank y'all for coming through. And tuning in to another great conversation that we have today. And you got to understand, man, you can use hate as fuel and turn it into an asset that's going to work for you, right? But it only starts with you. And that takes learning the difference between hate and constructive criticism. Because, like I said before, all hate is in hate. It's only hate. All hate is only hate when you don't understand the difference between hate and constructive criticism. Guys, man, thank y'all. Thank y'all for coming through, man. Tuning into another conversation. It was a great conversation we had today. So make sure you get down in that comment section, man. Light it up. You know, anything you have to do, any questions that you have, go ahead and ask them in the comment section. I definitely will answer them. Go ahead and converse with each other about the episode. Anything you can add to the episode, go ahead and drop it down in the comment section, guys. But thank y'all for coming through and joining in listening to another conversation that we have today. So all my entrepreneurs out there, man, don't worry about the hate. The hate is a good thing, because you can use hate as fuel and turn it into an asset, right? You got to understand the difference between hate and constructive criticism, because everyone is not hating on you. And once you understand that, the better off you will be as an entrepreneur, guys. So the thing is, man, emotional control is what? A business skill. Visibility attracts resistance, right? Criticism can sharpen strategy, right? Discipline converts negativity into what? Momentum. Strong entrepreneurs focus on execution, not approval. So that's very important to understand that, guys. And don't let hate distract you from the assignment, right? Sometimes negativity is confirmation that you stop thinking small, build anyway, improve anyway, and execute anyway. Thank you guys, man, once again for coming through, um, joining into this conversation for today. But like I said before, I will let you know once I come up with the format of how what days I'm gonna do these shows, because like I said, sometime in June, the entrepreneur conversation is going to be on a different day, and also the sidebar conversation, sidebar convo radio show is going to be on a different day too, because now I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to implement a new format of things and trying to get more things on this channel throughout the week, more community posting, more short vids and what have you. So I definitely want to be consistent, guys. Be consistent at doing this, right? But other than that, man, thank y'all for coming through, man. I don't want to hold y'all too long. Yep.